Give me new life, new heart, and many experience. I can share my testimony others people.
God has given me a big heart for people, a big heart to serve and a big heart to understand and relate and connect with people around me.
I think joy. I've had a lot of prophecies whilst I've been here about bringing joy to whatever situation I'm in.
I think that God has given me enthusiasm and passion that I can share with people about things I really do think are important.
I think that God has given me the ability to come up with creative ideas that other people can join in on as well.
God has given me the ability to do music and to teach young people.
I think God has given me a desire for adventure and to share that with other people.
I think I am good at making people feel heard.
God gave me an easiness about life and great joy in making people around me laugh.
As you can see, God created us unique and individually with each our talents and gifts. And He also put us into community so that we together can display how great and good God is. We encourage you to shine. You have something that can contribute to God's plan and to give Him glory. And together with your friends and people you know, you can display who He is in a great way.
Hello and welcome back to the living room. This is the second day of teaching this week, and this week we're so lucky to hear Bella teaching on the subject of identity.
Yeah, so we're actually going to jump straight in and introduce you to Bella.
Hello, Bella!
Hi!
I have some questions.
Okay.
Okay, how much do you love menu on a scale from 1 to 10?
It's a pretty good supermarket. I'll give it an 8. It's pretty good.
Wow, that's quite good.
Yeah,
Quite good.
sure. Like room for improvement, but
Yeah. Do commercial though for a minute.
yeah.
So, what is one thing you really like about yourself?
I think I like how my mind can wander off into some random place and it's kind of fun, you know. I can sometimes say some weird things because of it, but I think it's fun. I don't know, a bit creative,
Yeah.
I think I like that. That's good.
I like that too.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now, tell me one thing that is on your bucket list.
On my bucket list.
Something you really want to do before you die.
The
that
weirdest
sounds so
thing,
dramatic.
The weirdest thing came to my mind because for some reason working at McDonald's is on my bucket list.
That's amazing.
It's so weird, but that's probably not also I really would love to bungee jump one day. That's a classic thing to say, but I would actually love to do it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would love to do that. Yeah.
That's cool. Cool. Okay, if you could only eat one thing the rest of your life, what would that be?
Oh man, that's a hard question. Oh my gosh, that's so hard.
You got
Maybe pancakes.
Yeah, I mean you can have them for dinner, you can have them for breakfast.
You can put anything on them.
Yeah.
You can have sweet, savoury, whatever you want. Yeah.
Cool. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's one thing you find really funny?
A lot of things. I find a lot of things funny. Stories, like people's stories, funny moments. Yeah, I think just little things in people's days when they kind of, I don't know, see the humour in these little things and funny jokes. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, little things.
It's good.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, see ya.
Bye.
Hey, welcome. My name is Bella, as you probably already know. So I'm sharing identity today, and I'm going to kick off by talking a little bit about my family, because we were I guess that kind of comes into my identity in my family. Yeah, but anyway, we were kind of the weird ones on the street, you might want to say. And that's actually because many reasons, one of them being we had ostriches in our backyard. So I don't know if you know what an ostrich is. I'd love to hear it in some other languages. We have people on the couch here that I want to ask in Norwegian or, I don't know, ostrich. What is this in your language? Struts.
Yep.
Struts.
Yeah.
That's Norwegian for the tall bird with the long neck, not an emu. Anyway, let's get into it. My family had pet ostriches. So I remember, I think it was when I was about 10 years old, we drove 4 hours to this other city searching for ostriches. I don't know how we figured out about these birds, being living in New Zealand, but we found them. And I remember going there and we went into the barn, wherever they were, and I got to choose the ostriches. So they were babies. So they were like maybe this tall, including the neck and the legs. Tall babies. And so we took them home, and because we had nowhere to put them, they just lived in the backyard with the trampoline, where all that stuff is. But because they were so close to us, and because we would spend a lot of time with them because it was kind of exciting, we got to know them quite well. So they had personalities, and we got to know those personalities. And as they grew up, we could kind of see by the colour of each feathers, we knew who they were anyway. That's kind of the point that I'm saying right now, is they all had their own characteristics. And I actually have a funny story now with that, because one day, one of these ostriches disappeared. And what do you do when an animal disappears? You make a missing poster, or you put something in the newspaper. So my mum, she did this with the ostrich. So she had a photo of the ostrich, she put it in the newspaper, and everyone was on this hunt to find this missing ostrich in my town. It was a small town, so the word spreads kind of. I remember talking about it in school, and just it was pretty funny. But she actually found it one day on the beach, sitting around with some other birds. So she found it. It was great. And then I think, she brought it to school. It was show and tell, and she would just carry it into the school under her arm. So that's a little bit about that part of my life. It was quite a fun time, I think, for me. I had a lot of friends because of it, a little bit weird, but a lot of fun. So actually last week I called my dad and my mum, but I was talking to my dad. He's an artist, and I remembered that he painted this painting of the ostriches. So it was, I think we can have a picture of it here. And I was asking him about when he painted it, and he was saying when he painted it, he painted each ostrich with so much care, and he paid so much attention to the details of each one. And because we were around these birds a lot, they got to know them even more as well, because my parents got to kind of spend more time with them when they grew older as well, when they were taller, and then I was less around when they moved away from the backyard because they were too tall. Anyway, so he was talking about how he painted each one individually, and how he really he cared about each one. And he went into a story of how even one of them he became quite close with, and then another ostrich came and tried to attack my dad or something, and then the other one came and protected him. I think that's pretty cool from an animal. And then so I think my point in this story at the moment is that the individual of an ostrich is very important, as it is with us as well. We are also very important in this, and we are all individual with our personality, much like an ostrich. And also with this painting, when you zoom out, they all look very similar, and same with us, I guess. You zoom out, we can look very similar, but when you zoom in and actually get to know the individual, then you get to really see what comes out and what what is being put in them, how they've been created, and just, the special qualities that they have in them. And then that takes me to God, because he's the one that formed us and he's the one that created us. And the reason we have these personalities and this beautiful structure and just everything. And I just want to actually read a psalm just talking a bit about that, how he formed us all. So the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world and those who dwell therein. For he has founded it upon the seas and established it upon the rivers. So I love this because it's kind of, it's talking about how everything in the world was formed by him. He created everything, from the sunset to the mountains to us to everything. And I think, from that we can actually learn so much from the creation that we see around us. And that's why I've gone so much into the bird, the ostriches, because we can actually learn a lot from animals, and just this is another part of God's creation. And so now I want to read a little bit in Job. It actually talks about ostriches. So before David Attenborough, there was this. Okay. Okay, so this is just something I want to read. The wings of the ostrich wave proudly, but are they the pinions and plumage of love? For she leaves her eggs to the earth and lets them be warmed on the ground, forgetting that a foot may crush them, and that the wild beast may trample them. She deals cruelly with her young, as if they were not hers, though her labour be in vain. Yet she has no fear, because God has made her forget wisdom, and given her no share in understanding. When she rouses herself to flee, she laughs at the horse and his rider. When I first read that, I kind of thought, man, this ostrich is so cruel. Like, she wants to just leave her young alone and she doesn't care. But then, like, when I looked more into it, it's saying that she does that, but God has taken away her wisdom. So she has no understanding, but she is still, like, trusting that her babies are going to be okay, that they're going to be fine, they're going to grow. And they do. And, like, I think, we can just see that they really have this trust without any understanding, and it's just so simple. And I think we can make things sometimes complicated by when we're trying to find out who we are or our identity, that we try so hard searching, but all we really need to do is just trust that we will be looked after, trust that we don't need to fear because we're going to be okay and we are who we are. And I just want to, the simplicity of that is so important. And I think, it's important to understand that. And with the ostriches, at the end it says that she will rouse herself to flee, so she'll run away and laugh at man. And I think, that's funny because she knows that she can run fast. She knows that she can run away from the rider that's trying to catch her, because she knows who she is, even with no understanding. She knows that. And that's I think it's just so cool that we can read that in the Bible. It's such a good way of seeing that. So it doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to try to be the person that God created you to be, because you already are that person. So don't try to, just like an animal, like maybe you haven't had pet ostriches, but maybe you've had a pet cat or a dog. You can see the personality in them, and it's the same kind of principle that they also, they're comfortable in their skin. And I don't think the animals go around wondering why they don't have the best voice, or I kind of thought maybe lions do that, but I don't know. But the point, that they don't care if their fur doesn't match their toenails. They are very secure in who they are, and they don't need anyone to tell them otherwise, because they are what they are. And so with that, I think we need to also trust as humans, as part of God's creation, that He is going to love us and He is going to care for us, and that we can really trust in that as His creation. And just when you go out and you look at a sunset and it's a different color every single time you see it, it's completely different. The shades are completely different. and we look at it in so much awe, and you want to like grab your friends, go out, look at this sunset or take a photo, and we're just so amazed at the colors that can be put there in the sky. And that's God. That's God creating that sunset. And we also are part of this creation, and he looks at us in awe because we also are so beautiful, and we're also so perfectly made in a perfect color scheme or whatever it is. We're just, God looks at us in awe. And I think that's so beautiful to realize that you are a work of art. You are a masterpiece in God's eyes. And then I think, the people that you see around you, they also are a work of art. So the person you sit next to on the bus, or you stand 2 meters away from at the moment, but like they also are a work of art, and they are part of God's creation as well. And I at least want to look more for that beauty. Like we should just look for the gold in other people and see what they have, because there's so much goodness, and sometimes we can look too much at the bad things, but there's just so much goodness in people and the people around us, and we can learn from them, we can appreciate them, we can admire them, and ask your friend, like your best friend, ask more about their passions, and just we can, I don't know, I just think searching for the gold in people, it's awesome, it's great, but because you are a masterpiece, and so is that person on the bus. Yes, and now I actually want to just end with a scripture from Isaiah. For you shall go out in joy and be led forth in peace. The mountains and the hills before you shall break forth into singing, and all the trees of the field shall clap their hands. So, thank you so much for listening.
Okay. Thank you for great teaching, Bella. That was amazing. You don't expect to hear a lot about ostriches when you're gonna have teaching identity, but we did, and it was great. So exciting teaching. I think it was a good way of closing off the teaching about the identity.
Yeah, there was so much to think about in that, and so much, gold. Oh, yeah, that was amazing. And if you want to see Bella's teaching again, or any of our other teaching, it's all on the YouTube channel for you to have a look at. That's the Living Room Skien. But I think until then, we'll see you on Thursday for Couch and Coffee at 7:30. But have a gorgeous evening.
Goodbye.